Hi everyone, welcome back to Coffee, Books, and Rain. I'm Rachel, and I actually just have a little bit of water this evening because we are winding down the evening with just a couple of book reviews before I wrap it up and get myself ready for the work week to come. I have one, possibly two more reviews to do, and then I will be getting into bed. Well, first washing off my makeup, and then snuggling into the bed with my puppies and yet another book that I need to finish reading. So, with all of that being said, let us see what we have to talk about. And I already know what we're going to talk about. It is Januaries, Stories of Love, Magic, and Betrayal by Olivie Blake. And so Olivie Blake is a person who has come up on my radar quite frequently, and I'm certain she's come up on yours as well. This is a collection of new and iconic short stories and novellas from the best-selling author of Olivie Blake. And so I will say that I've actually, I picked this up not knowing if she wrote all of the short stories or if it was going to be kind of an anthology that other people had written. However, I do believe that she wrote all of the short stories and novellas, and they're really well done. I was pleasantly surprised. I've always been pleasantly surprised by her writings, and so was really fell in love with quite a few of the works within this book. And so let me just take you this synopsis for this book is quite short. It's just a very small paragraph. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, the tutelary spirit to a magical bridge rapidly approaches burnout. Meanwhile, Congress enacts a complex auditing system designed to unwaste your youth. A banished fairy answers a Craigslist ad. A Victorian orphan gains literacy for her occult situationship. A multiverse assassin contemplates the one who gets away. Escape the slow trudge of mortality with these magical ruminations on life, death, and the love or revenge that outlast both, featuring modified fairy tales, contemporary heist, absurdist poetry, and at least one set of actual wedding vows. So it's really quite cute because that first little part about the faraway land of the magical bridge and such kind of encapsulates a few of the little stories that are within. And it is about 400 pages, and so you're able to read at your leisure. I did get this, of course, from NetGalley, so I want to thank them, and I did get it as an audiobook, so was able to have it read to me while I was doing all the things that I've been doing around my apartment lately, such as crafting projects, crocheting, cross-stitching. I love having my hands free just to be able to paint or to craft. And I'm building a gingerbread house for my puppies right now for their Christmas cards. So I do hope that I will be able to create a Christmas card to show you guys. It will probably come out sometime in November, but I will try to show it to you guys once it is created. Or I will just try to show you a picture once I've actually gotten one of those maybe taken. We shall see how it goes. Again, this book's about 400 pages, so it can feel a little long, but because it's short stories, it actually feels like it goes pretty quickly. Now, this book, let's see, now Olivie Blake has written about 33 books, some which you probably know. Atlas 6 did a really good job. It went really quick. Masters of Death was actually pretty fun. I did that one not too long ago. I really, really liked it. And I want to read... I actually have Atlas 6 on my shelf that a friend of mine gave me. A friend of mine didn't like it, but I feel like once I read it, I am absolutely going to like it. So I just need to dive into it. It just feels like a book that I'm going to enjoy. I just have had so much on my plate this particular year. I think so far on my Goodreads, I have close to 200 books, And I feel like I didn't even start off as strong as I usually do, but I have been trying my best. Um, just plugging away at these books, and I love it. I love it so much. Um, it's just something I really enjoy. So I hope you guys are enjoying um, listening to these. Listening to these. Now, one of these, and I want to give this particular reviewer credit because she did go through and title each of the um, short stories. Because I listened to the audiobook, I didn't have the titles to those audio or to those like little chapters. So Esta under Goodreads, her review looks like it's one of the first ones, at least under my profile. Esta, ESTA. She has titled each of them, and I don't know if she only gave stars to the first two, but she's currently reading them. I'm not going to give her star reviews, but she does have some of them at least titled. So if you're looking to try to like look for titles, there you go. I will say the Wish Bridge was really cute. That was one of my favorites. And the Audit was, those were the first two. And so I think it starts off very strong. And it goes spring, summer, autumn, winter. And I think that was really good approach to kind of breaking it down because it's called Januaries. And I really had a good time like diving into this book because each season has about 3 or 4 short stories within it that kind of fill out that particular season. And I don't really know, like it's hard to kind of tell you how they feel the season. Like I don't know how the Wish Bridge is supposed to be spring or how Sucker for Pain is supposed to be spring. Because that one for me, I don't know where I would have put that. It was a very interesting story to say the least, but um, honestly, they were all really cool to listen to. And sometimes you didn't really know how it was going to fit into like this love and magic and betrayal until they really got going. And some were short and some were longer. I want to say Sucker for Pain was actually pretty long. It might have taken like about half of my audiobook for Sucker for Pain. And I was like, wait a minute. Am I really that far into it already? And I've only listened to that much? Like that many stories, because then some of them are quite a bit shorter. So, but the Wish Bridge, just starting with the very first one, because again, I don't want to dive too far into much of the content. I don't think you can spoil an anthology too much, especially when they're all and each individually unique. But to go into the Wish Bridge, which I thought was beautifully done, you have a daughter of a spirit who, and I say daughter because her mother was the spirit of the bridge before she was. And so when her mother is ready to retire, she leaves the daughter to care for the bridge. And so there is a script she's supposed to say, and she grants she can do this or she can do this. She can do this or she can do this. And so this is her life. This is what she's supposed to do. But she wasn't really born, and she wasn't really, she just came into being, more or less. Almost like you could say like Aphrodite on the sea foam or what have you. Like she came into being like almost like a goddess, so to speak. So then one day this guy comes along, and his name is Niall, and he hunts, like he asks her questions, but he doesn't want anything from her, like wishes. And so when the night ends and she says, well, you might not see me again, he's like, I'll find you. And so he hunts and hunts and hunts for her. And so she does. She sees him again, and they just talk, but he still doesn't want anything from her. And again, she sees him again, and The thing is her wish bridge only shows up like on full moons, on rivers, and sometimes it's near towns. It's never really in the same place all the time. It goes wherever it's kind of needed, but um, rarely in the same place twice, and it just travels kind of. It's magical, so to speak. So Niall doesn't know where the bridge is going to be either. He's got to hunt for it. He's got to look for it, and so that's kind of part of the thing is he's got to hunt these things, these rivers, for the bridge where she's going to be. Well, he finally decides what his wish is going to be, and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but he figures out what his wish is going to be, and it's really good. It's a good wish. And then I will let you figure it out. But well played, Olivie Blake. I that was a story that kept me reading, and kept me reading to the very end. It was just so incredibly cute. And I think the reason it must be called Januaries is the very last story is called A Year in January. And it was really, really well done as well. So, but with all of that being said, I like books that are made of short stories, but I like books. So just recently, we did a book similar to this, also by Naomi. Well, not also. We did a book similar to this by Naomi Novik called Buried Deep, where she had some short stories and some kind of, I don't want to say false starts, but some starts on stories that were a little bit different than what came to fruition in her kind of editions that were ultimately released to the public, like Spinning Silver. There was kind of a unreleased version, prototype, or things of that nature. This is more like just short stories and novellas. It doesn't seem like any of this is going to turn into full novels. It doesn't feel like any of this is going to become like additional works of art. This doesn't feel like she's just brainstorming. This just feels like she had kind of like she just compiled this for us in order for us to have some other things that she had written. So I really like that. I like kind of seeing the other works that authors write because it does allow us to see sometimes their playful side. It allows us to see some of their other creative ideas that sometimes don't often turn into full works, and that's okay too. I like poetry. I like short stories and novellas as well. The One Sucker for Punishment, like I said, it was surprisingly longer than I thought it was going to be, but really well done. I did get a little confused with it because I after a while I thought I was listening to a whole book because I was like, is this one still playing? But I think that was my particular like perspective on that one because I was like, wait a minute, is this still Januaries? Because I thought I had clicked on something different. I told you. I told you. It is getting to be just about that time where I'm going to need to wind myself down. But with all of that being said, it is now that time of the evening where I need to sign off and go take care of my sleepy puppies, my little Argos and Leo. There they are. Because they probably, well, currently they're napping on the bed. They have had their dinner. They have had their walks. Argos needs his little diabetic shot, and then we can probably go cuddle up together, read a good little book, have a cup of tea, and turn in for the evening. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. I hope you will like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next page. I hope you have a great one.